Hello and welcome to the Unfiltered Experience with Tara and Louisa. We are two girls who speak the truth about the struggle of never feeling enough whilst growing up in a world of filters and comparison. Here we will have raw, relatable and authentic conversations to empower you on your path to self-development. Come with us on the journey of unlearning.
Welcome to part 2 of my interview with Sheridan. This week we are discussing her spiritual practices and how she has applied those practices in order to manifest her award-winning business, which you heard a lot about in part 1. You definitely can exclusively listen to just this part if you stumbled across this episode. If you want to learn how to manifest your dream, then this is definitely the episode for you. Okay, I want to change tune a bit and talk more about what your practices have looked like in order to get you the outcomes that you have.
Yep.
So do you do a morning routine? Like what tell us, go into that. Tell us about your spiritual journey or your self-development journey.
When we talk about spirituality, it's a spiritual practice.
Yep.
Practice. Like enlightenment is not something that stays. I think it's like the more I practice, the more I receive. And I think I had this desire to get to a destination
Yes.
of being like whole and one, but it slips constantly. So I have to keep practicing. And I think meditation has been game changer for me. And I've meditated almost every day for coming up to 12 years.
Wow.
And it's only just the last year things have started to click and shift. And I'm noticing a difference. And instead of choosing to think my way out of a problem, choosing to breathe instead.
So it's like more of a muscle memory to go to that rather than like think about it later when you've gone through it already.
Absolutely. And it's like people around me are mirroring me. Like
Yes.
Heath will be like, whoa, you need to go take a chill pill. So that will be like, oh, I'm off center. I need to go do a breathwork practice. Breathwork has probably been even greater for me than meditation because it's just a quicker way to get back into to just address my nervous system and soothe my nervous system and remember that I am actually safe because it does feel like I'm being chased by a tiger right now. My insecurity with money is coming up. All of my security is being threatened, like relationships, financial, work relationships, like everything is threatened, literally. Like it actually is a hard time, but I know fundamentally that I'm safe right now. Like everything is okay, but I need to keep soothing myself through that. I need to keep reminding myself, it's okay, Sheridan, I've got you. I'm having conflict left, right and center. I have been a conflict avoidant my whole life, but this big bold life requires conflict. So I have to lean into the conflict.
An honest conversation.
And very honest conversations. And they suck. And people suck. Like there's something about being light in the world. And this is probably another space that I'm at the moment is my light can trigger other people's darkness and they resist me and make me the problem rather than having a look at themselves and taking responsibility for their decisions. And this is a small example. I went to McDonald's today, parked my car, came back from my shop and someone had put a Chewy on my car window. And I get it. Like I'm driving a Range Rover. Most people know that it's an expensive car. Little do people know I'm actually paying that off with a loan. You know what I mean? But this is the darkness. It's like I know I've got tinted windows and it's black and black rims and all of these things, but there's lightness in that car. Like that car has come from, that's my dream. That's my desire. And I know it's so little, but my car it's an external thing, but to me, it is all of my hard work and reminding me every single day that you have worked so hard to get to where you are right now. People will just look at my car and judge me, but little do they know that is a token of getting out of the darkness, out of the gutter. I was homeless, for fuck's sakes.
Wow.
And now I'm driving my dream car. So I think this is the thing. The light in us triggers the darkness in others. And that's really hard to hold because you can see everyone where they're at. And that's hard too, because we're so powerless over it. And I think that's the unknown part. You know, it's like that projection of other people's hate, resentment, bitterness, anger is really tricky for me to hold, because I'm such an empath and I'm a giver and I'm a lover and I want to see the best in everyone, but that's not helpful to me. I need to protect my heart. I need to protect my energy. I need to look after myself in a way that no one will. It's my job, it's my responsibility to soothe myself over and over again and not lose hope and faith in humanity, and only trust that the next person will do better and be better and not be bitter and twisted because of other people, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, you sort of touched on it before about your circles, and that like when you have like being in that hairdressing circle, it made it just like the next thing for you to do to reach the goal that you wanted to do, because everyone around you was doing that.
Yes.
And I think like that is such an important part of manifestation, to be around people that are on the same journey and that can hold, like, okay, maybe the guy at McDonald's can't hold that space, but like you've got a core one or two people even that can hold that space for your light.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is in their light.
Yes, because it's like the more we are around the people that have the light in their heart, the more it ignites our own light.
And also promotes you to keep doing the work, because it's just normalized.
Well, you then, because sometimes I doubt it. I'm like, is this even real? This is all a crock of shit? That my head will take me back there. It's like this, what are you doing? This hurts so much. Why are you pushing yourself to this? Like, I was literally driving past an award-winning salon down the road, driving here, and I looked at their fit out and I just laughed at myself, because I'm like, they did not spend what I just spent on a fit out. But I couldn't do anything else other than what I've done, because that's what I wanted. Like I wanted the best of the best. I couldn't compromise, because I'm like, well, I just would rather not do it. I'd rather stay where I am until I can do something really big and bold. And most people would think that's wild what she's spending. But to me, I just want to create a really beautiful, harmonious environment that people feel really good. They don't just look good, but they feel good. So this is my heart creating this energy for people to step into, and they know, they feel it the second they're in it. It's really hard to explain unless you're on the path. It's like, because it's a feeling.
Well, I think we can all relate to knowing what it's like to be around someone that's in their authentic truth.
Yeah.
And how like magical and grounding that is, and how you have this experience of like wanting more from that and wanting to be around that. And I think that's what you're saying. It's like your salon is a manifestation of your authentic truth.
Yeah.
And if it's not authentic, then you're not going to do it.
No, you can't.
And that's what you get from 12 years of meditation.
I think so. And it doesn't always look like it's what people say it's going to look like. And there's this yogic term about being a housekeeper. You know, it's like, I'm not on a mountain meditating. I'd rather die than do this 24/7. But I bring my practice into my big full life. I have to. I've got no other choice. Yeah. So I'm a housekeeper, you know, a householder. And I really like that, because it means I need to plug into my yoga practices. I need to plug into my meditation. I need to remember to breathe and just come back home and come back to my body, because I'm a human being, but ultimately like a spiritual being having a human experience. Like that's the life that I've chosen, or has chosen me, and that's where we're at. So I just surrender to that.
That belief, those practices, is what holds you in consistency and in your mindset as you navigate everything out here, relationships, hairdressing, being a business owner, dealing with the team.
Yeah.
And I think like that is the message of this podcast and the message of your work. It's like when we practice working on ourselves and we practice regulating ourselves and healing ourselves, not only do we have a ripple effect on others, but whatever life brings us, we can approach it
with less anxiety and with less pain. And sign me up for that life, because like I've definitely gone through hard times without a practice and I've gone through hard times with a practice, and the difference is huge.
Yes.
One is a lesson and one I'm a victim.
Yeah. Yes. And I wish I could disclose how hard of a time I am in right now. Like it is honestly, if I even just said it out loud, I don't even want to give it airtime because it doesn't deserve it. But it's like, this is the time that I am required more than ever to practice prayer, meditation, yoga. It's the last thing I want to do because my mind's trying to scramble and solve a problem that I am completely powerless over, and beat myself up, wonder why I got into this situation, because I do have a part to play in it. But it's just, I have to keep reminding myself, being kind to myself, being loving, being gentle, soothing myself and reminding myself that I'm a human. I make mistakes. I let people in too close because I see the good in people before others might see the darkness before I do, and it bites me on the bum. But I want to be a lover. I don't want to shut my heart down any longer. And I think it's just tricky. It's tricky being in the world and coexisting with people that most people don't want to do this work. And I know why, because I know what it takes to get to the other side of this. And I have compassion and empathy for the people that don't, because I get it. It's hard. It's hard going to the ashes and feeling every bit of pain that you've pushed down and squished for your life, and feeling the abandonment and rejection of childhood trauma and all of that stuff. But like, it's like what people don't know, and they never will unless they do the work, is how great it feels to be on the other side of that. Because it doesn't matter how much of a threat someone thinks that they are to your life, they can never, ever take away the work that I have done to get to this space. So it's like, even just saying that out loud, I'm like, oh, yeah, we've got the answers within, because it's like we've done this deep, gritty work that this is actually, I feel like I'm walking on fire. But if I look at the bigger picture of the last 12 years, it's just a very small piece to the very large puzzle of Sheridan's life.
I feel like it is easier to blame others and be a victim of your circumstance. And obviously I'm not talking about actual scenarios where you are a victim. Of course. But what I mean by that is like, when we take responsibility for our decisions and take responsibility for our life, we can't relax and sit in resentment on others, because it keeps us sick, right? It keeps us in the problem. And so taking a responsibility of when things are tough and not going, oh, that fucking person, blah, 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 and going, oh, well, what you just said, like, I get why they're not doing the work, and moving forward and still holding the light within you and not becoming bitter or not becoming different because of those experiences. Like, that is true strength. And I think, like, in those moments where I have every reason and every right to be a bit bitter and be a bit twisted and be a bit angry and be a bit resentful, one of my practices is wishing that person loving kindness and wishing them the health, wealth and happiness and everything that I desire for myself. And I remember throwing up a few times over the course of my recovery, just even saying that. Like, it's like this repulsive feeling that is what I'm doing when it doesn't make any sense to do that. But what that does for me is gives me freedom and gives me love. So I'm back in love. I'm back in strength. I'm back in kindness. And whilst it might not change things straight away, it's shifting my world and my vibration and my energy. So who on earth wants to do that? Come and join us. Literally. Right? Like, because that takes courage and that takes strength and that takes a different path than most people are prepared to take. It's easier to stay angry
Yeah.
and point the finger at someone and stay in a narrative that's more comfortable for you.
I love a good old narrative personally.
look,
I love
really?
I love looking at the other person's part.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's a really comfortable place for me.
Is it really?
Oh, like as in it's not helpful. Like as in like when I am in a conflict with someone, I'm like, I can see all the bits that you did wrong. And it's like pulling, it's like what you said in your gut, like this feeling of like, oh, I don't want to take responsibility. I don't want to look at my stuff. Like, no, it's them. Like I'm hurt, I'm angry, and I want to stand up for myself. But once I found my voice, it's like, okay, I need to find the middle ground now. Yeah. Like I didn't have a voice and I've got so much of a voice that I'm not taking responsibility. And it's like I need to even that playing field of having compassion for others as well, and not like arguing at my past every 5 minutes.
Yeah, but I think that's the process.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the process. It's part of the human experience to feel everything that you're feeling, because it is valid a lot of the time, but then to find that middle ground that you said, and that usually comes with talking to someone that's been through something larger than what it is that you might be going through in that moment, and getting a new perspective and then choosing a different way. So I think we are mostly conditioned to live that way. But if we are surrounded by a healthy group of people that are giving us healthy feedback, that are saying, let things go, you know, and I think that's why it's so important to pick who you hang around, because if you're hanging around toxic people that are drinking, that have come from really hard backgrounds, like most people have, it's like they're coming from a narrative, a limiting self-belief of something. So it's like that's just a projection of their own experience. Whereas now the people I go to are the people that have done $1 million moves, you know, that I can hopefully just get a little bit of wisdom from about the situation, and they see it from a different lens. So it's like choose to go higher than the people in your circle, or choose to go, you know, I just think it's such a valuable piece of wisdom, and just put yourself out there. Like if you see someone on Instagram that you really admire, send them a message and tell them that you do, because you never know what could happen. Like most of my relationships have come from me just saying, I love what you're doing.
Wow.
How did you do it?
That's so true. It's such a humble thing to do, especially in this day and age where like it is about like the likes and the follows and all that stuff, to reach out and just be authentic and celebrate others. I actually got one of my first jobs in the fashion industry from doing that. From saying, wow, how good is this? And then I ended up interning with them, and I worked with them for a year.
Oh,
so
my
there
God.
You go.
There you go.
Yeah, how wild.
It's magic.
One question I wanted to ask you, because it's sort of my theme at the moment with everything, like, you know, Tara's about to have a baby and all that stuff, and I've just been like thinking about children. What was it like maintaining a meditation and a spiritual practice when you had a child? Like, how was that? Was that hard?
It's actually, that is a really good question.
Yeah.
Because it is hard. It is. If I want to meditate, I need to set my alarm 15 minutes earlier before I know Junior's going to wake up.
Yeah.
And most of the time I don't want to do that. So what will happen is I've got 10 times less of a chance of actually meditating, or otherwise I have to restart my day after I've done the school drop off, I've done the school lunch, I've had my own coffee, I'm in my car, I need to restart. It's either right before he wakes up or after I've done mum duties, and it varies. You know, it's all about how free I want to be and whether I want to put in the effort and action that little bit earlier. So yes, but I remember when Junior was 2 and I was in a lot of pain, and someone had suggested to me to go and do like a 7-day silent meditation retreat.
Wow.
And
I know who that would have been.
You know exactly who that was.
Because they've told me to do the same thing.
Oh my God.
And I'm terrified.
It is terrifying, you know, but I was at a point in my life where I was so desperate to actually take on the wisdom and advice that I did it.
Right.
And it meant 6 days away from my partner and my little boy, and oh wow, that was a life-changing time. And now I crave that because it's like the outside noise is turned off completely, and I just have time to sit and process and feel and heal. And to be honest, I needed one of them this year, and I even started Googling. But I got another opportunity at a health retreat. It wasn't a silent retreat, but this is the thing. Like, I don't have the luxury of being able to drop everything and going to a silent retreat. Like, it's just not my life. So I need to find moments. I need to find windows, and I need to, so this morning I didn't meditate. So I was getting my eyebrows done today, and I chose to do box breathing during most of that appointment. So I will find the window. I didn't start my day the best way that I could have, but I still regained like that moment, and I found peace. I found the center of my body. I found joy. I found a moment of being grateful to have stopped to choose to be in my body, and I'm a better person for it now.
I love that. I feel like that's such a tangible way to do the work.
Yeah.
And I think it can sound like this big thing, like, oh, I got to do this big course or put aside half an hour and become a monk. But something like that is so powerful. Like, maybe you get the train to work every morning.
Yes.
Instead of listening to a gossip podcast, you stop and you just be present for 5 minutes, or like before you call that person that you're worried about, you take like 10 deep breaths. I love that, finding the moments in your day rather than it being this like big thing that you need to set aside time for. Like, you can apply it in the now.
Yes, because I'm a doer. It's easy for me to go and do a yoga class. It's easy for me to do a guided meditation. It's easy for me to do X, Y, and Z. One of my mentors says, have you done your yoga class? Have you done your ab crunches? Have you done your journaling? Have you done your breath work? Have you done that's how I can be like tick the box spiritual practice, but that's not the practice.
No.
It's not. It's not about ticking boxes. And I think I tried to tick boxes for a really long time. And that's why I think it's taken this long to get to a place where I had mentors that were telling me, just take moments in your day to just breathe. My nervous system just wasn't ready. But there was a time, and that's why it's a practice, there was a time that it finally, sorry, I'm going to get really emotional because
please.
There was a time that that just happened. It was like, whoa, I felt a drop, and I felt like all of the work had finally been worth it. Like, all of these people had said, this, you can live like this. And I'm like, to be honest, I haven't been in that right now, because it's just a time in my life where I'm in the red zone. And I guess we're full circling right back that I know that I'm going to find it again, because I'm going to get out of this and I'm going to focus on getting back to that space, because I've been in fight or flight for the last few months, literally for so many reasons. And it's just, I'm craving that now. It's like before I would like want to live here in this flight red zone. Like, it was actually really fun and like exciting and addictive. And now I'm like, I'm here for a short period of time, and I'm going to get to the other side, and I'm going to center and calm my nervous system so that I can be a better person and not come from a place of terror, because that's what this is. It is, but it's seasonal now.
Beautiful. Yeah. Wow. I just feel like it's so evident the work you've done on yourself, like to have so much acceptance and love and faith in being in fight or flight for 3 months. Like, I think I'd keel over and die. Like, I genuinely would just, oh my God, I just think it's fucking awesome to see a woman living out such an authentic dream and doing it in such a beautiful way. It's so inspiring.
Yeah, well, I just think like although I'm in this place of fear, I'm also holding both. I'm holding passion. I'm holding gratitude for having a craft that I love so much. I love having something that I can put my creative energy into. Like, I love making people feel good. That is my superpower. I don't take this, it's not just a haircut for me. If you want just a haircut, like, I am not the person for you. But if you want a really deep experience and you want someone who cares so fucking much about you and how you look and how you feel, and not just in words but in action, in like being obsessed with education to be able to give you the best experience you've ever had. Like, I found my passion, I found my purpose, purpose and I get to share that with others. Like that makes me so sad that majority of the universe will never know what that looks like or feels like. Like I am so misunderstood and I'm okay with that because I get to live this life of passion and fire and like absolute madness. And so many people say to me, I don't know how you do it. And I have high vibration and energy. My energy, like just when I think I couldn't take on anymore, I do. And I think I just say yes. I just keep saying yes. And every time I don't want to say yes, I still say yes. And I know we're in this cancel hustle culture and blah fucking blah, but it's like if the opportunities are there and they're presenting themselves, you just got to take them and you've got to take the leap and you've got to take the risk. And I know that there will be a time to just step back from that. But right now it's just what's in front of me. So it's what I've just got to do. Because if I don't, I feel like I'm also hurting myself.
You're living out your truth.
I feel like that. And not many people understand that. And that's, how can they? Because it's mine, you know? So it's like we've got to protect ourselves and let all of that energy just bounce right back off because they'll never understand unless they're doing it themselves.
Amen. Thank you so much. I could talk to you for bloody hours because you're just amazing. And we've just discussed that we're going to get you back on once everything's up and running and just like learn from all the gold that's happened along the way. I want to say thank you for coming on and for coming here in peak hour and just being amazing and being so generous with your lessons and with your life. And for anyone that is interested, I will pop all of Sheridan's website, her Instagram, her TikTok, her salon in the show notes. She's still got her salon up and running.
We do.
So please, if you want to book in and have a makeover and a spiritual experience that is cool. A cool spiritual experience.
Cool. In Footscray.
In Footscray.
Yeah.
Book in and go and see her. Like she's open and she wants to teach others. So if you want to like learn more and if you feel inspired by her, book in with her. There's no better way to like, you know, get a foot in it, whether it's in hairdressing or whether it's in doing the work and becoming an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I feel very privileged that you're on the other end of my phone and I have you to call.
Always.
I actually talked about you just briefly in my in a few episodes about how I said, my mentor took me through this practice where I surrendered. Do you remember when I surrendered my ex-partner because I thought he was going to relapse and then he relapsed?
Yeah.
So Sheridan has been a huge part of my journey and finding my own spiritual beliefs and you've really – whenever I go after something, like when we started the podcast or whatever, I was, you know, you have all that fear and you feel really scared and your journey gives me courage. And I hope that that's what our listeners have gotten today.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Is that like, you know, don't go for the Kia. Wait 3 years. Wait 3 years and get the drug dealer Range Rover. That is amazing. It's iconic. But it is. It's like, fuck yeah. Like men have been doing this for years.
Yeah. Why? Right?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's
get all the
go.
Range Rovers and let's celebrate every Range Rover that any woman has.
Celebrate each other.
Yeah.
Celebrate each other.
Yeah.
If you see someone driving your favorite car, like I remember one last story.
Yeah.
I pulled up just to get petrol at the 7-Eleven and the 7-Eleven checkout guy said to me, "That's my dream car." And I said to him, if I can do it, you can do it too. And he's like, oh, you know, it's just like encourage each other.
Yeah.
Like, let's stop. You know what I mean? It's just like.
The energy of abundance,
yes,
that is.
Yes, it's everywhere. You know, it's just,
Amazing. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you.
I will see you guys next week. And please go and check Sheridan out. Thank you.